Well, there is a relationship. I'll talk about Jack, the retired firefighter. And let me just say, it's kind of funny because Jack was a hoarder. But when Jack was a hoarder, I did not know Jack was a hoarder because we did not have the hoarding shows back then. So I did not know. And he was really handsome and he was kind and he had been a firefighter. So I'm thinking, you know what? This is a good guy. He has a great family. Everything's going to be great. But Jack was a hoarder. He did not want to take out the trash. And if I was going to gather, he wanted to do the trash himself. Because if I was going to gather the trash, he wanted to make sure that all of the magazine labels were torn off, that the prescription bottles were filled, were dark, all this kind of stuff. And so when he told me what he wanted, I started doing that. But it wasn't good enough because since he was a hoarder, even though I had gathered things, he did not want them to leave because there was something that was going on with him that said, I have to have control in some way. And so it was hard because I loved him, but I realized well within our relationship after we got engaged that he had an illness, a mental illness. And he was older than me, 14 years older than me, but he wasn't of the older generation like my parents and things, or the people even older than that, the radio agers, where they typically were hoarders because they were poor and they held on to things. That's not the type of hoarding he was doing. And so it was very difficult because I bought a house and some things he did to help me, call himself helping me with the house, ended up costing me a whole bunch of money. He wasn't really honest with me about his lack of money, and then I ended up kind of pouring down money down a spout. And I think probably it was his pride. I mean, who can't relate to that? A man in pride. But how about a woman in pride too, right? And so one of the biggest things I want people to know is the number one cause of conflict is lack of or miscommunication. Lack of or miscommunication. Oftentimes we don't admit what's going on because we're embarrassed or we're ashamed or our ego won't let us do it. And that's the opposite of what we need to do. If you love somebody, be honest with them. And if they love you back and they're supposed to be with you, then you all can work it out together. But don't hide what you're doing. Don't hide your status, because then if you say, somebody thinks you have a lot of money and you're broke, that's the issue. But if they walk into it and they know you're broke, then okay, well, let's get unbroke together, or let me give you some, or let's do something, right? Yeah. So I think that even good people, or even people who have good intentions, when we're embarrassed about things, we often leave things out or keep secrets because we're not sure how other people will handle it or judge us. And I want people to know that's not the way to live.